Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrahli sadri ve yessirli emri ve hlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli ve cealli veziran min ehli Harun ahi iştud bihi ezri ve yeşrikhu fi emri key nusebbihake kethira ve nezkurake kethira inneke kunte bina basira. Allahümme allimna ma yenfe'una ve enfe'na bima allamtena ve zidna ve ilme. Allahümme erinel hakka hakkan ve rzuqna ittiba'ahu ve erinel batile batilen ve rzuqna ijtinabe. Ve sallillahümme ala Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve ashabihi ve etba'ihi ve sellim. Rabbena gfir lana ve erhamna ve ente hayrul rahimin. Amin. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Amin. We were almost towards the end of the story of Adam, so human journey, our journey in life. And this is one of the last sections that we are going to cover, the relationship between Satan and human beings. So we studied this verse last week in detail. I will just briefly cover it up in order to remember where we are coming from. So when everything has been decided, it means when everything really comes to the end, what we understand from it, God gave you a true promise. Satan says, what God gave you a true promise. How we should understand this, we said, God promised where in my feelings, in the creation, demonstrating, and also through revelation. Always we always try to remember, in order to understand the Qur'an, we have to put the Qur'an within this triangular circle. The creation is witnessing who the creator is, human feelings, observing it and understanding who my creator is. The ability is given in our creation, and also the revelation consolidates it and teaches us how we should utilize the universe and our human feelings so that we will be on the right track. So the true promise, or the promise that we have been given in us, in creation, in the revelation, through of them, became true. How we understand this, we have to look at ourselves. We have to really analyze the creation, what the creation is, how the creation is speaking to me, or conveying the message about its creator, and how my feelings are really looking for the satisfaction, and how can I get the satisfaction without falling into discordance or contradiction within myself. So we can understand that what the revelation says, what my feelings says, what the universe is giving the news about its creator, turns out to be true. We can understand this now. In the hereafter, definitely we will observe it, but in order to confirm what will happen in the hereafter, we have to, that's the principle, we have to see the signs of it. Otherwise, if I don't see the signs in this world, how can I confirm what the revelation says? Because revelation also is called the book of God, God's book, and it needs to be confirmed. How can I confirm it that this, for example, ayah, this sentence is God's word? So we have to be realistic. We shouldn't just take that, oh, I'm a Muslim, I believe in, it doesn't work, really, it doesn't work. So we must be realistic. So Satan says, I too made promises, but they were false ones. That it means if you really think about it, you will understand that they were false. Why? We have to analyze it. We have to use our feelings and question them. Do I really need this understanding that I have a creator, and he is the absolute being one, he is the creator of the universe, and my feelings can only be satisfied with when I refer my feelings to the absolute being. Otherwise, if I refer my feelings or direct my feelings to get satisfaction from the things, what we experience in this world, just transient beings. As soon as I have something, it disappears. As soon as I enjoy my life, disappears. We give in this class the example in this halaqah, the example, I enjoyed myself today, I enjoyed I don't know, whatever I have, but one day later it disappears. I cannot get it back. So there is no really satisfaction if I expect my satisfaction from anything of this world. Do we understand this? Whatever I said, I will get fully human satisfaction. Nothing really stays in my hand. As soon as I have it, it disappears. I have to understand that this is what satanic way is, denying the creator, denying that I need a perfect satisfaction in this world, permanent satisfaction, denying my own reality. This is what Satan represents. So if I follow him, I will understand that they were all false. I had no power over you, and at the same time, the power means, for example, if I have a substantial evidence to present to you, that is powerful. You cannot deny it. You have to accept it. You have to submit yourself to it. So Satan says, this world happened to be by itself. So it happened to be by itself, and there is no creator, there is no conscious choice behind it. It developed by itself in one way or another. Mostly, how they say, matter is a permanent being or eternal being. I don't see any eternity. Everything is continuously changing. But if something is changing, it means it is subject to the will of something else. So it is logically, I said, no, it doesn't make sense. It is not a powerful event that I have to accept and sign up with it. So I say, no, I don't buy into it. So I can say this. Except to call you. It means Satan only whispers in the language of the Qur'an. What does it mean? This is an option for me. We should never ever forget this. Satanic view is an option just opposite what my reality shows me. Always the opposite. But in what case? Satisfaction-wise, human satisfaction-wise. I cannot be satisfied with it. But since I have free will, I have to be given two options at least. One must be true, the other one must be wrong. How can I make the distinction? By using, as we said, the evidence in the creation. They demonstrate that my creator must have absolute power, absolute knowledge, absolute wisdom. Otherwise, I cannot come into existence. It means, otherwise you cannot explain my existence. Got it? So that is one thing. My feelings said I cannot be satisfied with temporary things. I want satisfaction perfectly and infinitely, with no end and with no lacking in it. And any idea which is presented to us by Satan, as the Qur'an says, really doesn't make any sense more than to be an option to decide for me to reject it, so that I will confirm and make sure that this is the right one. So it is a kind of very simple multiple choice test. One of them says, 1 plus 1 makes 2, the other one says 1 plus 1 makes 1,000, for example. It doesn't make sense. Obvious. Because I cannot confirm it. But 1 plus 1 is the true option, I'm sure. Anything other than this, it cannot be true. So Satan says that I call you. إِلَّا أَنْ دَعَوْتُكُمْ. Only I call you. How we should understand in our real life experience, this is only an option, but the option is rejected so that I will take my position to confirm the truth. If there was no option, would it be better or would it not be better? Think about it. There is no choice. 2 plus 2 makes 2. The 2 plus 2 makes 4. Yeah. So one option. I don't have to use my free will. It doesn't add any value to my human capacity because I cannot make improvement. What? Learning. Learning is what? Rejecting the false, confirming the truth. That is how we learn. That is why God in the Qur'an doesn't blame when we make mistakes. What God really blames, if you don't learn from your mistakes and confirm the truth, and by rejecting the mistakes, how is it called? Repentance. Rejecting the mistakes, repentance. It means, oh, it was wrong. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't think of the wrong things, the wrong idea. I shouldn't have chosen the wrong option. And when we say this, you are fine, because we are created in a way that we learn best through our mistakes. Of course, if I make a mistake deliberately so that I will make this, so that I will ask for forgiveness, I mean, no one can really swallow it. It is obvious. But I will fall into mistake inevitably, but I have been given the consciousness, intelligence, feelings to question where I made a mistake. Then, this is the mistake. I can question it. That is why I have to think always what I am choosing, is it really true, correct, or not? I have to always question this. That is human beings. Whenever you do, shall I go this way? Shall I go this way? We prefer. That's how we are created. It is inevitable. So, I only called you and you responded to my call, so don't blame me, blame yourself. You came to me, you have chosen me. Can we blame that? A teacher, example, in order to teach me what is right, what is wrong, gives me a test and says, there are 2 options for you, this is a multiple choice, and gave me A, the true answer or whatever, and B, the other one. It means right answer or wrong answer. Can we blame the teacher saying that I made a mistake because you have given me the choice of wrong option presented to me? But I'm expected to reject the wrong option in order to understand that right option is really the right option, so that I will learn. I cannot blame that there is an option that I may make a mistake. But of course we make a mistake. This is the beauty of the news we learn from the Qur'an. I really see that forgiveness of God is always presented in the Qur'an. That is very, very important for me to notice. Very important for me to notice. So forgiveness. Okay. I cannot help you, nor can you help me. Of course, nobody can help anyone. Only we can help ourselves. So I reject the way you associated me with God before. This is very important. It's a very delicate point there. Satan is speaking now in the language of the Qur'an, in the example. I reject the way you associated me with God before, min qablu. Yeah. Yes. Inni kafartu bima ashraktumuni min qablu. Before, it means in the word. What does it mean? Satan doesn't reject the way that we associate satanic ideas with God. In fact, this verse is very delicate, and I struggled on it to understand this part of the word. A lot. I came up with, of course, after reading here and there and see what the people said, the scholars said about it. I think it must be. My conclusion, I'll share with you. Although somebody or some option comes to my mind, it includes in it that I am wrong, because it does have no reality in it. If an option had even 1% reality, I would say, there is a truth, there is a reality in it, and I would confirm it. At least because of this 1% reality. But what the option that Satan presents to us has no reality. So, this is theoretical side of it. My conclusion. If you have any problem, if I am not clear, please ask me or challenge me. Whatever you want. So, practical example, even if somebody denies that I have no creator, in reality, I don't have, for example, I don't need eternal existence. I have no creator. Everything is randomly happening, and when I die, I will disappear. And I don't believe in what I don't see and experience in the world. Because ghaib, the belief in ghaib, that where is God? They keep saying, I don't see any God, but the things are developing by themselves or happening by themselves, which is called natural process of the things. But in fact, their life, look at them, their life is full of belief in what is not experienced in this world. If someone denies what I don't experience it, but only what I see, the result of something, it means what I am experiencing now. I may be not really successful in presenting this. Now let me try my best to explain this. Now, something happened. Let's say, I put my computer here and went out and came back, my computer disappeared, right? But let's assume that I'm an atheist. I don't believe in ghaib. What I do in practical life, oh, my computer has been stolen, right? And I complain to the police. Police says, have you seen? No, I was out. I haven't seen it. But since my computer was here, that I am absolutely sure, but it disappeared. There must be some conscious being who have taken it away. But the police says, I don't believe in what is not seen, what is not experienced. I don't believe in, by just looking at the result, that there must be an intelligent agent behind it. The man says, no, you have to look. Looking at the result that we are experiencing, it is very human to conclude that this result must have a conscious agent to come into existence in the meaningful way. The universe, full of meaningful things. Is there anything in the universe which doesn't make sense, meaningless, purposeless? Randomly happening anything randomly happening in the world? Show me one. Randomly. Everything is perfectly orderly happening according to the order of the universe, which is established by the creator of the universe, because matter is subject to the order. If matter is subject to the order, matter cannot be the creator of the order, because it is subject to it, logically contradictory. So everybody knows that satanic ideas denying the creator, deep down everybody knows that it is not acceptable. Our practical life, we always act according to our expectations as a result of our previous experiences, and see that if something happens, if I come my home and my window is broken, what I say? There must be an agent. And of course this is it is not a good example. So who broke it, at what broke it? I am looking for the cause of the effect. So cause, again, this point is very important, crucial. Cause cannot be as the same nature of the effect. For example, the one who made this, how this one is called? Podium. Now, the one who made it cannot be of the nature of this podium itself. There must be another agent which is not the same nature. This is very important. Which is not the same nature. For example, here is my computer, and my computer is made up of some materials, some things, right? And I cannot say that the same nature of computer made or is the maker, creator of the computer. Do I make sense? Not the same nature cannot be. For example, a matter cannot become into existence or cannot be really maker of its own existence, because the maker must be someone who is more intelligent, more able, and knows the future, have knowledge. And if the result is wise one, meaningful one, the cause must be an intelligent, wise agent. So matter cannot improve itself by random happenings, because the result is not random. Nothing is random in this world as it is. Have you seen any animal which is not perfectly complete? Have you seen any plant which is not perfectly complete? Halfway it is going to develop and become better. And anything? Can you say that for example, someone may not like that spider is not perfect? Can we say, is a spider? It's perfect spider, functioning perfectly, eating perfectly, digesting perfectly, regenerating perfectly. Any problem? How can the thing can make itself perfect if it was previously not perfect? Something will be not perfect and make itself perfect as a result of random happenings. What is going in the world? is this, in the name of science. The things are making themselves more and more perfect as a result of random happenings, but surprisingly, all random happenings ended up with being perfect creatures. How many differences of types of things, species of beings, animate beings and non-animate beings? Trillions of them, endless of them. Who has really arranged perfectly the galaxies? Or cluster of galaxies, billions of galaxies, trillions of stars and systems in it, like the solar system that we are experiencing here. Perfectly working. But previously they were not perfect. It happened to be perfect by itself. It perfected itself. Come to my own existence. Can I perfect myself? I'm getting old and older. You may be happy, you are young, but when you come to my age, I don't want this heart is working not perfectly. I want everything perfectly working. Yeah? That is how our feelings desire perfect results. How? And everything is created perfectly, meaningfully, for a purposeful end, so that I am getting old, not accidentally. I am arranged in this way, so that I will die. My body must die in order to leave my spirit with a perfect body, because I am in need of it. Because the more you learn, what do you want? The better you become in your profession. So we are created for perfection, but unfortunately, in this world, nothing develops in the perfection. Everything is perfect in its creation, but continuously subject to death, claiming or announcing in their existence. Plants die, animals die, galaxies die, announcing that I cannot stop myself. Somebody is operating on me. The one who arranged me is operating on me and making me die in order to demonstrate that I cannot claim my ownership on my own being. Everything. So everything declares that I have a creator who is really giving me existence, operating on me, deciding about my future. I cannot really decide about my future. Can you guarantee your life tomorrow? What are you going to do? Guaranteed. Guaranteed. No one. Nothing. So that is why I reject the way you associated me with God before. It means the Qur'an is saying, look, if you really think of yourself, you will understand that denial has no base at all. The wrong option has no base at all. Or any baseless option is satanic option. So, okay. This verse is...
Can we go back to the previous verse, please?
This one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe I would like a little more comments about... I reject the way you associated me with God before, Satan speaking. This relationship between God and Satan, which is obviously very privileged, very particular. He refused to bow down when asked in front of Adam. And in this verse, it's basically like, it's almost like a mirror, like he basically take the stance of like, no, like you cannot associate anything with God, like as an opposite. So this relationship between Satan and God is So it's kind of fascinating. I don't know. Like,
let me put it in a clear language. I don't mind. Quran is contradicting itself. In the first verse, it said, God ordered the Satan. He didn't obey. It didn't obey. Here says here, oh, I rejected the way you associated me with God before. So even before here, this is a fundamental problem in the Muslim world. Not only in the Muslim world, really. It is something to do in philosophy, hermeneutics, That's what we should understand. Quran cannot be read literally. I mean, with small verses related to do and don't, do's and don'ts. It means rulings. Rulings are need to be read, but they are practical. But we are talking about the theoretical side. It means how am I going to understand myself? How am I going to really direct my life? In which direction? This is the main problem for me. That is why.
A little addition. God, when Satan refuses to bow down in front of Adam, God kind of like forgives Satan and said like you're among the one that like get out, but there's some kind of like forgiveness, towards him.
To ask for forgiveness before their judgment.
So
God gives him the opportunity to ask for forgiveness.
So this is a representation of my life, and we studied extensively on this side of that, and we kept repeating that you cannot read it as a story. That is impossible. It must be telling me what my reality is. When I come here, I reject the way you associated me with God. It means how did you understand this? In our inner capacity, inner quality, we understand that satanic options represented in the Quran, which is negating, rejecting the truth, with our inner capacity, we can know that they are really wrong. And in our practical life, we always contradict this. That's why those people who said, I don't believe in really, there is no God created, the things are happening themselves, but in their life, full of belief in ghaib. Act accordingly. Expectations, for example. I go to the train station expecting what? That the train will arrive. Yeah, but I am acting according to what I have not experienced at all. Expecting that, hoping, wishing that it will happen. So, if I go and do anything, I want perfect, better, long-lasting. Why? Because I want eternity. No one wants to die. No one wants to use lose his ability to see. How long? Endless. With no end. No one says that if I could see until the age of 60, it's okay. Afterwards, I can be blind. No, the same person reaches 60, said, no, 70. And 70, 80. Extends. Keep saying, why? We don't want. So if the same person's mother is in hospital about to lose her eyesight if she wasn't treated, what does this man do? Now, how old your mother is? 90 years old. What are you doing? What does she do? She is in hospital. What? If she doesn't take this medicine, she will lose her eyes. And that's why we went to get the medicine. What do we want? Eternal happiness. Never ending perfect satisfaction. The same man says, when I die, I will disappear, forget about it. The same man says, but your feelings tell us, I want perfect and eternal satisfaction. So that is why they say, oh, religion is talking about imaginary world, these angels and how do they say, beautiful women in paradise. Oh, that expectation. But the same person gets married with the most beautiful girl if he can. Why? That's what we are created for, girl or boy, whatever. So do you want to get married with a person who's going to die tomorrow or next week? No one. Why? Why? I want permanence. As long as possible. As long as possible. But human feelings has no end. This is my practical example. Would you like to say something? Let me say this practical example. Let's shut up. And then you, all right, don't worry. So, think about yourself. This is how introspective analysis is necessary to understand what my reality is. Go back and think about it. You are given a perfect life. And there is assumed that this is an example, just a kind of parable. It's an imaginary thing. Then think about it, and you will be happy for a million years. Happily life. But after a million years, you will disappear. As a human being, not as a believer in the Qur'an and Akhirah. No, as a human being. Use your human qualities. 1 million or billion years, I will be happy, and at the end of the billion years, I am ready to accept going into non-existence. All right? This option. You may say, oh, 1 billion years bad? Phew, that's enough. Okay. Think about it. 1 billion years is going to be completed tomorrow. You are happy in your existence. And the same man appears, example, imaginary. Same man appears and says, oh, no, I'm going to take you into annihilation, non-existence, okay? And the man says, oh, I was happy in my existence, why not? Huh? There is another person, no, you seem to be disappointed, man. I'll give you another 1 billion years. You can? As a human being, be frank. Would you say, no, 1 billion years, this happy life was really boring. I don't want anymore. Send me into annihilation, or take another second 1 billion years. Listen to yourself. Listen to your own feelings. What do they say? Would you accept it? Annihilation or another 1 billion? It goes on forever. That is human nature. We cannot deny it. Even I am an atheist, I would still prefer another 1 billion, another 1 billion, another 1 billion. That demonstrates our human side, feelings, which is in the language of the Quran, our ruh. Our ruh is created for eternity, infinite satisfaction. That's why we are trying to. You are all university graduates. Why did you study? To have a better life. Although you know that the end of this life is death. Right? And if the death was the end, why do you really struggle to have a pleasant life? The end is zero anyways. Why do we struggle to have a healthy life, better life, more enjoyable life? Why do we keep struggling? The end is zero. Why don't you just kill yourself and reach the end? That is the end anyways. Why don't you? Why don't we? That is how we are not created. That is why it means here, reject the way you associate with me with God, tells me that if you listen to yourself, what satanic option offers me to deny God, to deny hereafter, to deny the purpose of our life, is not acceptable at all. That's what the Quran is saying. Nothing to do with Satan, God. Do you think that God is arguing with Satan, which he created? That is literal meaning. That's a terrible reading of the Quran. Yes, sir.
I would like to very respectfully push back and say that this is a literal conversation. And the reason I would say that comes from understanding paganism. Allah talks in the Qur'an and other areas about, for example, the worship of the sun, the stars, and the moon. And if you look in every pagan religion, you will find some imitation of this. And every pagan religion has to do with talking to what we call spirits.
What we call what?
What some people would call spirits. And the Quran makes it clear
Spirit?
that spirits, every pagan religion has some kind of voodoo or black magic or
Or
shamanism.
non-material,
Exactly.
immaterial things that the image is representing something, something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Icons and
Yeah.
idols and all sorts of
yeah,
stones and statues, and
yeah.
they always represent, and I think it's quite clear that there's an element of black magic in paganism, a worship of demons.
Yeah, paganism or
Mhm.
to a certain extent. No, this is confusing. I shouldn't say.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay.
When I look at this conversation, I see a conversation here where Satan, Shaitan Iblis, is offering an alternative religion, and that's paganism.
So even look.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody is atheist. I'll come back to you. Yeah, somebody may be an atheist, but maybe at the same time listening to humans, to his human or her human side, and establishing, for example, a school or a hospital for the poor. Yeah, there are in New York City. There are many organizations taking care of the needs of the homeless people, needy people, or abandoned wives and children. There are orphanage states, shelters, These are not really made by religious organizations. Some of them are made by humanitarian, irreligious organizations. They don't say, but they say we are humanists. Because they don't believe in God, maybe believe, but nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with the revelation and listening and following a religious tradition. No. What they do, they want their name, their actions survive after they die. Why? That's very human. That's what we understand, that what God says here. Even before we die, we understand that the option which denies the reality of this universe, which points to the necessary existent one God, which is called God in the Quran. So they still want something beyond their life. Okay, come.
I also wanted to ask something. I think the English translation here is not deep enough when it comes to the meaning of the word ashraktumun, because it's not only about association, but it is association in terms of being in control. So, like, I can associate Satan to God when it comes to God created Satan. So this is a way for me to associate Satan with God. But in the conversation here, it's looking at the context. It's just saying I was not in control. It was all your option. I gave you an advice or whatever, like an option. You took it. I'm clearly stating that I disagree with the way you saw me as if I was in control. So it's not about only association. I think this is not enough, because it should be, I reject the way you associated me with God before, seeing me as if I was also in control, because then it makes sense in the context of the verse, which is stating and clarifying that I was not in control. I just gave you suggestions and you just followed. So it does not contradict. It's just a clarification of, by the way, it was your choice. And if you saw me to be as if I was in control, like God, I'm rejecting that out loud.
Yeah,
but I'm not rejecting what I did, and it's not contradicting with what I did. It's just stating, clarifying that what I did was just not more than suggestions.
No, you are right. Thank you for this clarification. The problem of translation is, for example, here, إني كفرت بما أشركتموني. But shirk, أشركتموني, you have made shirk to me. Shirk is translated into English language, usually associating something with God, which means God is the truth, al-haq. Anything which is not true is an idea which is not really based on truth, needs to be rejected. So Satan represents this rejected part of it. So associated me with God means assuming that as if I am a power, the quality to be the creator of the universe. No, I don't. Or representing any truth. No, I don't. I am just a false option created for you because you are created in such a way that you have freedom of choice and you have to make decision, and according to your decision you have to say this one is right, this one is wrong, and just I represent the wrong side. And the wrong side has no truth in it at all. Yeah.
I was going to say, because in the Qur'an somewhere else, Iblis promises two things. He promises eternal life, and he promises eternal power, a kingdom that will never end. So Allah promises us Jannah, and Iblis actually has a promise that he makes. And shirk is a word for associating partners, but it's also a word for paganism. Going back to my point, I think actually it's kind of clear, most pagan religions are tied very much with worshiping the devil in one form or another. They believe that Satan is an alternative to God.
That is what for us now means. So, for example, Satan says, it is so ridiculous. Yeah. If you eat from this tree, taste, you will become eternal. Shajaratul khulq. We discussed all this before, long before actually. But expecting eternity from created beings.
Yes.
Apple, create or tree, created beings. For example, if I have this, if only I have something, and get the best job, I will be happy. No. At the end, you will start complaining about your boss, your colleagues at work. So, and then at the end, you will retire. So there is no way to get to the dead end always. But from the causes, so it is an advice for us. While we were discussing this part of the story, we went into the details there. If I think that this is my not worldly needs, no, satisfaction, point of satisfaction, that is Satan's offer, go and taste from this tree. This is Shajaratul Khuld. It means any created being. Paradise is a created being, isn't it? The tree is a created being. That's what created. It means, ultimately, speaking in a simple language, causes that we see in this world, or we regard that, this is the cause of something, this is the cause of something, never causes anything to create, to exist. They are just in need of being created by themselves. So, as a result, I always say this phrase, there is no cause in the universe to cause something to exist, but everything in the universe is just an effect, pointing to the necessity of the causes. This is the cause, is the real one who causes something to exist, is the one who is the creator of the universe, or must be the one who is the creator of the universe. So I am hurry a bit for some reason. Let's finish this because the story we have been studying for a long time. سؤال قال ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. Okay, they replied, "Oh our Lord, oh our Lord, actually there must be, I cannot do it. We have wronged ourselves. If you don't forgive us and have mercy, we shall be losers." That is what Adam, after making a mistake, Adam and his beloved one, I wouldn't say wife, beloved one. So anybody is beloved to me is represented there as wife. So two people are speaking here, Gala, that is the language. They both accepted this. What is that? We have wronged ourselves. That's it. That is what we are taught here. When you make a mistake, accept that you made a mistake. Don't insist. Don't try to cover up. Don't try to make up some excuses. Come on, be brave. Say it. That's the point. That's what we learn from this verse. That's why I say, believe in God. Sorry, let me correct my sentence. Asking for forgiveness and repenting for our mistakes is equal to believing God. So it is istighfar in the language of the Qur'an. Istighfar is equal to iman. If there is no iman, there would be no istighfar. If I don't really ask for forgiveness for my mistakes, this attitude is, in the language of the Quran, kufr. It means insisting on my mistakes. But we may fall again and again and again. That is human. But anytime I fall, I have to repent. So this is the way how to perfect ourselves. Done? I'm going. Okay. Oh, all right. God said, all of you get out as enemies to each other. It means it's a transition now in the language. So far in the story of the Adam, in the Quran used double. In English there is no double. In Arabic, you say you, one person, and use another form of the verb, two person. When it becomes more than two, they use plural. For two, they don't use plural. That's the main fundamental grammar of Arabic language. So, ihbitu becomes plural. It means more than two. Some scholars say it means Adam, his wife, and Satan. Or, changing the language, because we will see soon God won't say Adam, say Beni Adam. I have told this story all the children of Adam. It means you and me. You and me. So we understand that also in the sequence of the verses, this is a plural word. All of you. It means some scholars say God is speaking to the human spirits in this the word of spirit. So it means spirit come into body. Yes, it means God creates us or creates our spirit, and in this world within a body. That is the worldly life is concerned. That is what the worldly life is. Spirit is operating within my body, within the conditions of this universe. So that is why ihbitu ba'dukum li ba'din adu. So some of you will be enemy of other. It means as enemies to each other. Now, are we not experiencing the fight between right and wrong? This is right, this is wrong. If I follow this, I will be rejecting that. I cannot find any way in between. One statement, one action either right or wrong, not in between. Cannot be. So that is why we have to be always careful that while we are using our free will, we have to watch out whether I am making the right choice or wrong choice. Reasonable one or irrational one, which one? I have to watch out. So we are in this universe, fine, and you will find in this world, you will find in the earth a residence and provision for a while. Yes, we know that while limited, isn't it? Every day is limited, every moment is limited, every year is limited. So this is the limited life. No one can say that no, but some people are really successful in going out of limitedness and becoming eternal. Impossible. That is our reality. But on the earth you will find residence and provision. Yes, there our life is here, and that's what we are getting. What provision for our body is? Something to eat, air, breathing air, light, all this provision for my body. But for my spirit, what is the provision? First, everything existing in the universe, speaking to my spirit, giving the purpose of relieving the purpose of their existence, giving the news of the qualities of their creator, everything. It's speaking to my spirit. Inshallah, we will talk about this subject a lot in my next project, inshallah, hopefully. Do we understand that we understand for spirit only for our body? But we are not body only. Body is a transient being. It does just get 1 or 2 plates of food and that's it. But what we need, eternal satisfaction for our spirit. What is that? Any evidence, any data which will provide answers, expectations, satisfaction for my spirit which wants eternal satisfaction. If I really get the eternal satisfaction from the news, what do they say to me? Every being says, whoever created me must be the creator of the whole universe, because my existence only possible and makes sense within the context of the whole universe, and you and me can communicate easily. See a tree. Tree is giving to me about the qualities of its creator, and I am looking at it and receiving the message. What is happening now? Communicating. So when we read a book, let's say a book which is published 100 years ago, author is gone, died, most probably, with no exception, and I read the book, I say, oh, it is really useful, it is very practical, I love this author. Do you say or not? I love this author. It is that man, what are you loving? Communicating through the information you get from the book and connecting spiritually with the dead author's knowledge and your satisfaction with this knowledge. This is spiritual connection. But we don't really pay attention to this provision side as far as our spirit is concerned. We just say, I'm looking for my bread, so I have to take care of my family. Mostly, would you like to say what?
No, I have a question.
Yeah, of course. Now, mostly concerning about body. That's what I want to say. Yeah.
It says over there, all of you get out as enemies to each other. And earlier you said you meant Adam, Eve, and Satan, right? So does that mean Adam, Eve, and Satan are all enemies to each other, or just Adam and Eve are enemies to Satan?
Enemies is?
Okay, so earlier you said,
Adam.
Over here it says get out
Adam,
as
his
enemies
wife.
to each other, right? And you said that meant Adam, Eve, and Satan, all
Satan,
enemies
yeah.
to each other.
Yeah.
Does that mean all three are enemies to each other, or does that mean Adam and Eve are enemies to Satan?
Doesn't really matter. As we said, we shouldn't take the story literally. We have to understand that some of us, for example, believers and unbelievers are fighting with each other. Belief and unbelief also fighting each other. Yeah. So, in the language of the Quran, angels and Iblis are fighting each other. So, in the word we also always having two options. We interpreted it, and we cannot have one option. No, always two options. So this is the representation of fight. So some of them support option A, the other one supports option B, and these people are fighting with each other, not physically. Enmity is there. How? I mean, this enmity is because of adu is enmity. But Quran uses this word. Satan is aduwullah, God's enemy. But what Satan represents, the wrong option, is fighting enemy of God, which means they are fighting. Because when I say there is no God, what did I do?
Sure.
I rejected God. There's a fight. Yeah? But it doesn't mean that materially we fight each other. But spirits are fighting with each other. Materially sometimes for worldly benefits. These are not important.
No, yeah, that's what I meant. Spiritually, like disagreeing.
Yeah,
But also,
not
again,
physically.
the Arabic literal meaning says that some of you will be the enemies of some others.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's
بعضكم لبعض.
Basically, it's just that, because the English translation just said that you will be enemies to each other. It's not that. It's
No,
just
no.
Some of you will be the enemies of others.
Thank you. So I'm hurrying now. So he said, there you will live, there you will die, from there you will be brought out. That is what the Quranic news says. And also what we are experiencing here, yes, we are living here, yes, we are dying here, and also we will be brought up, resurrected, tukhrajun. This word tukhrajun, brought up, is the Quranic depiction of human resurrection bodily, and uses betnakum. This we will take out your body, and like a plant, nebat. You know Arabic, I think. That's why you understood. بعضكم لبعض. Not definitely that we have to fight all of it. Some of us, for some of us, yeah. So we will be brought out. What does it mean? What does it mean? It's an analogy. As the seed, a seed, comes out from the dark earth. We are experiencing that. Quran always use this. We should never forget that Quran's examples are phenomenological examples. What does it mean? It's a technical word. Forget about it. It means how we observe the things. For example, Quran says the sun is running. Yeah. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا. We don't know. Sun is not really running. But the earth is turning. Oh, in my experience, I see the sun is there. We say sunset, sunrises, and accordingly gives the example. Whether sun sets or earth is revolving doesn't matter. The Quran's purpose is there is an order. There is a balance in the creation of this universe. You cannot attribute these qualities to matter. Matter cannot decide about it. It's balance, it's order. That is the point. This phenomenology is here. The body will be resurrected from the earth like the plants are doing as you see it. You see that shoot comes out, the roots come down, and the body, shoot side, comes out. It is perfectly arranged, and it is an only example that God can create your body, that we are left, our body is there. But in fact, death is not body. Ruh is taken away from body. But this is the analogy that the Quran gives us. We will be resurrected from here. And also some scholars say this will show that in the hereafter, whatever we have done, all will be brought out into our account in our new creation. In the world you were doing this, in the world you were doing, in the world you thought, in the world you were thankful, in the world you asked for forgiveness. All our account will be brought up from our earthly life. That makes more sense. Let me hurry this. Oh, we studied this mostly. Let me see if there is more. Do you mind if I go a bit, 5 or 10 minutes more?
Go for another hour.
Okay, let me be very brief. Children of Adam, we have sent down to you garments to cover your nakedness. We studied what it means. So, I think last week, if it was last week, yeah? This garment, what does it mean? Bodily side, spiritual side, and also spiritual side is more emphasized here. And as an adornment for you. This is a very interesting word. Verishan. The adornment for you. What is adornment for me? Now, as far as my body is concerned, so when I dress up, everybody dresses up for good garments, whatever we have to dress, then it is for our humanly making our appearance beautiful. No one wants to get out. Now people corrupt their nature something. They want to take out their clothes. But at the same time, really, almost one of the most money-making industries was cloth industry. Yep, we know that. But the best one is film and entertainment industry, and the worst one is, anyways, what is going on in the world is really crazy. Whatever it is, but we have to think of the adornment for our spirit. Yeah, because this word, Ya Bani Adam, all the children of Adam. Now Adam finished, turned it to us, because all the stories was for us, the word for us. We have Enzelna alaykum. Enzelna means sent down. What does it mean? What does it mean? We think the cotton, the wool is from earth, because animal eats the plants, come from the earth, and wool comes, and cotton, and all the not cotton or synthetic things, clothings, are also out of petrol, from earth. But God says, surprisingly, in another verse, God says, we sent down iron from up. But everybody said, and the core, iron ore, is from the earth. What does it mean? That is our blessings. That is how we arranged it. It is heavenly arranged. It means it didn't happen by itself. It happened with God's will and power. So this is also represented in the Quran, that everything is actually coming from God originally. So adornment also for us and they are sent by God. For example, I grew up in a place we have never seen cotton at all. Cotton doesn't grow there. So one day I was going on a bus trip, and there is an area where really cotton plant is growing. I was so shocked. Out of earth and water, cotton is created. Nothing to do with water. I was so surprised. I touched it, and I said, it is coming from soil and water and nothing to do with cotton. Completely different nature. And everything is like this, but we still think that fruits are, juice, water. But cotton has nothing to do. This is also arranged by God. So again, animals eat plants, and plants turn into wood. But it has nothing to do with, water in it. Anyways, this is something that God arranged, I understand. Of course, the garment of God consciousness is the best of all garments. Of course, we understand that for our spirit, so for our body, the garments, the dress we have is beauty for our body. But the real beauty, the best garment is God consciousness. God consciousness has nothing to do with my body. God consciousness has everything to do with my spirit. So some people look for an excuse not to cover themselves. They say, okay, I don't have body but the best body covering, but I have the best garment of God consciousness within my heart. Forget about my body. But your body is treated in another way than your spirit. So taqwa, it means it's وَلِبَاسُ التَّقْوَى ذَلِكَ خَيْرٌ. Yeah, this libas taqwa, it's very famous. So libas taqwa is for your spirit. It means God consciousness. I think we understand this, don't we? So I am jumping to the ذَلِكَ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. This arrangement is nothing but God's sign, demonstrating to God's absolute qualities. Last one. Do you mind? Shall I go? Okay. Ya Bani Adam, okay, keep it simple. O children of Adam, do not let Satan seduce you. Now again, it is very interesting. Adam's story finished. Now God said, I have told all this to you, as the Qur'an keeps saying that we are narrating the qasas, stories of the Prophet, in order for the people who think. Yeah, so in order us to think, to get the result. Here it is. The God is concluding the story here. O children of Adam, don't let Satan seduce you. Yeah, it was nothing to do with Adam. It is me. It was something to do with me, as it did your parents previously. It has been doing the same thing. The universe is working on being created on the same order, causing them to leave paradise. It means, Satan, be careful. The satanic ideas takes your happiness, parasitical happiness, and puts you into a meaningless life, purposeless life. Any ideology which doesn't accept God, can they really talk about infinite happiness, full satisfaction, securing our existence? Never. They say we are here temporarily. That's it. And we are going to make most of our life as we are living here, but at the end, if you are going to lose everything, leave everything behind, why bother? Humanly it is impossible. So we have the experience of previous generations that some of them were following satanic ideology, some of them were following the truth. So we are going to experience the same thing as the previous people have experienced. So causing them to leave paradise, we discussed this. Stripping them of their garment, God consciousness garment, it means really losing confidence in their existence. Why? Because if we don't recognize the Creator, who is the absolute being, definitely what I will do, I will lose really my God consciousness to expose their nakedness to them. Materially, their nakedness are faulty one. We studied this. That's why I'm going fast. Our option to make mistakes, our option, this is our naked side, not protected side. Why? Any wrong choice has no protection by any substantial explanation. It doesn't, it cannot. So our nakedness becomes weakness. Wrongdoings become apparent if we follow satanic option, wrong option. He and his forces, his forces is important again because Satan is represented by minel jinneti ven nas. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. These his forces are not really that Satan has any force, because wrong idea is wrong idea, doesn't have any force. But some people, as the Qur'an gives the news, some human beings will support this false idea and try to propagate it and influence you and me. Be careful about it. So his forces can see you from where you cannot see them. It means they don't come to you, I'm going very fast. They don't come to you saying that I'm going to seduce you, I'm going to give you a wrong idea. You know, they come to us not, I am really trying to help you. You are just living in an imaginary world, just assuming something, God or religion, and wasting your time. Come on, enjoy yourself. As if he is my bosom friend. Don't they speak like this? Say that I'm just trying to save you from wrong, this imaginary things. Be realistic, man. What is realistic? Live in this world materially. Forget about the needs of your spirit. But they don't say this. This is imaginary, made up story. And they are trying their best to show what? All human qualities are the results of body functions. It means body producing itself the eternal idea, eternal perfection, need for security in its existence. Body tells me that I'm going to die. Doesn't answer, doesn't provide any satisfactory answer to the spirit, to the needs of my spirit. Too long? Okay? All right. So we have made evil ones allies to those who don't believe. Now, that is the last point, inshallah. جعلنا الشياطين أولياء للذين لا يؤمنون. What does it mean? Don't believe. I understand this. I understand in the language of the Quran, generally speaking, doesn't want to believe. What does it mean? Doesn't want to accept that he is or she is created, she is blessed by somebody else, or his or her feelings from the Creator, all the qualities, intelligence, and every human quality are given to him or her by his Creator. So if someone doesn't want to submit its existence, its being, its reality to its creator, source of existence, and claim that matter exists by itself, you exist by yourself, it's the same thing. So they cannot say that the universe exists by itself, but you have a creator. None of the atheists will say this. Denier will say this. So matter exists by itself, you exist by yourself, by your own self. Your cells, your atoms made you. So they want us to believe in this, so only then Satan can deceive us. Very simple. The last word is Allah, last sentence. If I don't want to admit that I am a created being, I need to be given existence, I have to be the ally of satanic ideas. It's not because I was deceived by some ideas, no. Because I wanted not to, I preferred not to submit my existence to its creator, then I go wrong. That is essentially my intention. What do I want in this world? Be modest and or be arrogant. Which one? That choice is very simple. If I am modest means what? Accept your reality. Modest means not really showing yourself down. No, accept your reality, or be arrogant, deny it. And then you will be ally of the Satan, or following the satanic forces. Yeah.
Again, also accept your mistakes. Don't try to cover your mistakes, because
Yeah.
that's another part of it.
The kufr, yeah. So la yu'minun. So we have to decide from the very beginning. Am I going to be honest to myself or not? Very, very simple. Not because am I going to be a good Muslim, or it is becoming Muslim afterwards you can say good Muslim as far as the actions. But in order to become a Muslim, you have to be consciously aware that I have to decide, am I going to be honest within myself or not? And then process from there. But if you say with a preconditions, most of the people are choosing, especially nowadays, denying side because very simple. Personally, they don't want to admit their reality, that they are created, making the excuse of what? Institutionalized religious people or institutions, institutionalized religion. So religions. Institutionalized religions is the human interference. We do them. We make the churches, we make the mosques, and administration of the mosque. That is human action. They make this an excuse because they may have lots of faulty things are going on there. They love if a rabbi or an imam does something obviously wrong, then they love it. To publicize it, talk about it for a week or so in the social media. But there are many people are doing the same thing. They don't really see it. They don't really say it. But any religious people, they are looking for an excuse really. Why? Rejecting the mistakes of the human mistakes in the institutionalized religions, making an excuse and turning it as a reason for denial of God. But essentially, this is an excuse. They don't want to admit their reality. That's what we have to know. Inshallah, next week we are going to go into a different journey. Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhir da'wahum an alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi hurmati sirri surati al-Fatiha. Now, here it is next week. Brother Khalid, here it is next week. Starting from next week, we will do some sort of interactive study, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.